The wise man speaks because he has something to say. The fool because he has to say something. Have you ever noticed how truly intelligent people are rarely the loudest in the room? They don't dominate conversations. They don't constantly prove how smart they are. They don't correct everyone, argue endlessly, or perform intelligence. And yet, people sense it. They feel it. They adjust around them. Because high intelligence doesn't announce itself. It leaks out quietly through behavior. Here are 7 subtle behaviors that signal high intelligence, the kind people notice instinctively, even if they can't explain why. First behavior. They pause before responding, not because they're slow, but because they think before they speak. In a world addicted to instant reactions, the pause stands out. Most people respond emotionally. They speak to fill silence. They rush to protect their ego. Highly intelligent people don't. They take a breath. They process. They choose words carefully. That pause does 2 things. It improves the quality of the response, and it quietly establishes authority. Because people associate calm deliberation with competence. Think about negotiations, meetings, conflicts. The person who answers immediately is often reacting. The person who pauses is deciding. And decision makers are always perceived as smarter. Second behavior, they ask better questions than others. Low intelligence tries to impress with answers. High intelligence reveals itself through questions, not obvious questions, not surface-level curiosity, but precise, uncomfortable, clarifying questions. What's the real objective here? What happens if this fails? What assumption are we making? These questions shift conversations. They expose weak thinking. They slow down chaos. And here's the key. They're not trying to dominate the conversation. They're trying to understand reality. That's why people trust them. Because intelligence isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing what matters. Third behavior, they're comfortable saying, "I don't know." This one separates real intelligence from insecurity pretending to be intelligence. Most people fear saying, "I don't know." They think it makes them look weak. So they bluff, they ramble, they fake certainty. Highly intelligent people don't. They say, "I don't know." Then they listen. Then they learn. And paradoxically, this increases respect. Because confidence isn't pretending to know everything. It's being secure enough to admit limits. People sense that honesty, and they associate it with intelligence and maturity. Fourth behavior, they don't over-explain. Over-explaining is often driven by fear, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being judged, fear of losing approval. Highly intelligent people don't feel the need to justify every thought. They make a point. Then they stop. They don't flood conversations with unnecessary details. They don't chase agreement because they understand something crucial. The clearer your thinking, the fewer words you need. When someone speaks simply and precisely, people assume depth. When someone speaks endlessly, people assume confusion. Fifth behavior, they regulate their emotions under pressure. Intelligence isn't just cognitive, it's emotional. Highly intelligent people don't lose control easily, not because they don't feel emotion, but because they manage it. When tension rises, they slow down. When others panic, they observe. When someone tries to provoke them, they don't take the bait. This gives them a massive advantage. Because emotional reactivity clouds judgment, and clarity under pressure is rare. That's why calm people are often perceived as the smartest in the room. not because they dominate, but because they remain stable while others unravel. Sixth behavior. They adapt their communication to the person in front of them. Low intelligence speaks to impress itself. High intelligence speaks to be understood. Highly intelligent people adjust their language depending on who they're talking to. They don't use complexity to feel superior. They simplify without dumbing down. They know intelligence isn't showing off vocabulary. It's transferring understanding. That adaptability signals social intelligence, one of the most powerful forms of intelligence there is, because influence depends on connection, and connection depends on understanding. Seventh behavior. They don't need to win every interaction. This might be the most subtle sign of all. Highly intelligent people don't argue for the sake of winning. They don't correct everyone. They don't chase validation. They let small things go, not because they're passive, but because they're selective. They understand that energy is finite, and not every battle deserves it. They choose long-term positioning over short-term ego wins, and people feel that restraint, because nothing signals confidence and intelligence more than someone who doesn't need to prove it. If you recognize these behaviors in yourself, don't rush to announce it. Let it speak quietly. And if you want to understand psychology, power, and intelligence at a deeper level, without noise, without performance, subscribe. This channel is for those who prefer clarity over chaos.